All right, guys, welcome back to Traderscale Success Stories. Today, we've got a special one for you. We have one of our finest traders at Traderscale chatting with today. His name is Anton. Is it Henry? Anton Henry.
We can go with that. Yeah, it's fine.
We'll go with that then. Okay, cool. I'd be down as Anton Streeks-Henry, but I don't know what you
Yeah,
prefer to
yeah.
be
That
called.
is that is that
Okay,
is my
cool.
name, but it's all good.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, this guy is in our top three or four traders been paid out at Traderscale, I believe. So, this is the one for you
I didn't
guys.
even know that.
Yeah, you're way up there. I was like, oh wow, okay. So we were in Traderscale Hall of Fame here, which is good. So Anton is obviously someone who's navigated the highs and lows of trading, and we're gonna see how he got there, and come out on the other side with probably some of the biggest payouts we've ever seen at Traderscale. So really looking forward to this one, and this is going to be especially valuable if you're just starting out. So let's jump in. So how are you today, Anton?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. So,
No worries.
happy to share my story.
Oh, that'd be yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. I like getting all sorts of trades on, but when we get one that's in our top 10 on, it's really like okay, here we go. This guy means business, or this girl. So where are you from and what's your age?
I'm from London and I'm just about to touch level 40.
Oh, level 40. I like that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
use that. I'm 35, so I'm gonna use that one on my next birthday. I'm not gonna be level 36 soon.
yeah,
You
yeah.
level it up, man. That's good. Okay, I love the cognitive spin you put on that there. So, how much have you been paid with Traderscale total, roughly?
To be honest, I tried to work it out and I'm not 100% sure, but on average, I'd say a minimum payout would be sort of anything between 5 to 10K USD. Um, and I've been pretty consistent over the last sort of 6 months or so.
Okay, so let me just have a little look and see if I can see. Um, uh, 1 second. See if I can just quickly go onto the back of this. Yeah, it's just because I like to get because on the thing, I've got to put like he's been paid out like probably whatever it is, but you're definitely
Yeah,
up there. Yeah. Okay. So you've been paid out about 55 grand. Is that right?
yeah, yeah.
55 grand. Wow. Well done. So, Anton, guys, has been paid out $55,000 of us, which is absolutely sensational. Now, obviously, you don't go straight into trading and start smashing it, do you? So, can you
No, definitely
talk
not.
to us a little bit about how when you started and stuff like that?
Um, to be honest, when I first started, didn't have a clue what I was doing. Like I was
Okay.
just seeing clips of people online talking about different things, whether it was crypto or different pairings. Um, and I was just like, yeah, I need to try and find a way of making some additional income. Um, and yeah, I just kind of started seeing these things, thinking and saw this offer in regards to like Traderscale and stuff like that. And I admit the first probably a couple of tries, I think I sort of blew my accounts pretty straight away.
Yeah.
As I said, wasn't really sure of what I was doing. But then as I started to do more research in regards to the markets and started to get to understand um, what made the markets move, that was very, very helpful. And I also feel that Traderscale in regards to like the dashboard provided like a good calendar, sort of
Yeah.
giving guidance of like impending news, the type of news it was, and sort of helped me to then start to think about where I would want to avoid trading potentially if it was high risk, or where I would be able to sort of think about how I'm gonna manage the lot sizes and stuff like that I would use based on the sort of impact of the news that was going on. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
So let's go. Let's before we get into that because I want to go and jump into a question there for you about like a pivotal moment. But let's start right at the beginning. What was life like before trading?
Um yeah, has been good. To be honest, like I can't complain. I think everyone has the ups and downs and trials and tribulations. But like I work hard, always have done. But um, I think one of the things for me is like a lot of people are experiencing at the moment, cost of living has gone up. So wages are not really going up in line with that same sort of level of inflation. So people are trying to look for what people refer to as like side hustles and so on and so forth. And um, I've never really been a numbers man per se, from like a maths perspective, but there's something about trading for me which, like through my research and stuff like that, has kind of helped sort of click. So that's why for me it became sort of became a thing that I started to invest my time into.
Absolutely fantastic, man. Fair play. So what do you do for a living on the
I
side?
work in HR,
You're in
but
HR.
I was a teacher before as
Oh,
well.
you're a
So
teacher. Maybe
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
that
yeah.
may
So
helped you understand things more when you were, looking at things maybe. So let's talk about you. I did hear you say the dashboard there, and like you said that when you looked at the dashboard, our dashboard's like I think it's one of the best in the industry, and that's I'm
yeah,
obviously a little bit biased, but I don't think there's many better ones. And do you think that that helped you to get to where you are now?
100%. It's an easy reference point to be able to log in real time, be able to check your time scales of your trades, like be able to, as I said, look at the calendar and check what market news is sort of coming up and stuff like that as well, which again can help you to plan and future proof what system you're going to put in place in regards to your trade. So that's definitely something that became helpful. And also, even when things are not going great, it's good to be able to look at the dashboard and to be able to see, okay, this is where I'm at from a drawdown perspective on my account and where I need to potentially adjust in regards to, again, lot sizes, how how the trades are being held and so on and so forth. So yeah,
Okay,
definitely made a
but-
difference.
okay, so the dashboard plays a part in it, but when you've done your research now, stuff like that, would you say that news played a part in it, looking into like actually like right red folders and avoiding certain things, or putting like less lot sizes or bigger lot sizes when you knew certain things? What role did that play in your success?
Yeah, 100%. So I think m my first sort of few experiences where like I've like blown accounts was I wasn't understanding the sort of severity of high volatility and what that could actually do.
Okay.
Um, and part of that was again sort of being a little bit naive and not really understanding
Yeah.
like how trading works and how the markets can move in literally a millisecond, let alone when you're trying to have a trade open for a minimum of 2 minutes based on on the sort of rules as an example. Um, so from my perspective, I then started to avoid like trading in and around sort of high risk news, because I thought to myself like it's too risky. I wouldn't want to put myself in a situation where you've already gone through that process of
Yeah.
purchasing an account, passing an assessment, and then like as I said, in a matter of milliseconds or minutes, you could potentially
Done.
like like lose it all. And so for me, I was like, well, if I'm going to invest my money and my if I'm going to invest my money into this platform, then I need to invest my time separately again to upskill myself and so on and so forth in order to actually be able to ensure that I can actually make it profitable. Because
Yes.
otherwise, I'll just be giving my money away to yourselves and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
getting anything out of it.
No, that's brilliant. So you've obviously you've assessed the situation. You're like, right, what am I doing wrong? I failed a few
Yeah.
accounts. I think it was like a couple, like maybe five or six, something like that. And then you're like, right, I can do this. I'm passing, but then I'm not getting to the stage where I'm getting to a payout. So talk us through that process there a little bit. How did you? Was there anything that really streamlined it apart from news and the dashboard?
Um, I think partly for me personally, it was trying to identify a strategy that worked for me.
Okay.
Um, it's, I suppose, obviously different day traders, they'll trade in different ways. For me, as I said, getting to a point where I'm trying to avoid moments throughout the day where there's high volatility, as an example. So from my perspective, I won't give away all of my tricks, but one of the things that I typically tend to do is when I'm thinking about from a consistency perspective and also thinking about consistent day trading, as you know, we have to hit the rule of
Yeah.
trading 10 days and so on and so forth. As an
Yeah.
example, I will trade like in an evening after work when I tend to find the markets less volatile.
Okay.
Um, And so I get my day trade in just before sort of 9 p.m. And
Right.
then after 9 p.m. I'll also then probably trade as the sort of the day has changed. So I'm getting sort of even in my day, it's one day, but I'm getting 2 days worth of trading as an
Oh, okay,
example.
cool.
Um, and as I said, because I find the market to be uh less volatile during those times,
Yeah.
it means that I can, for in regards to my strategy, I can get in and get the pips that I need for
Yeah.
those particular payouts, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then get in and out. Sometimes I can trade for 5 minutes in a day, and I've done my target. I set my target, and I've done my target for the day.
Okay.
So I can do that either side of an hour, and I'm done. And then
Yeah.
once I've hit my target, I step away
Oh,
because
brilliant.
sometimes you can get too
Greedy.
caught up and greedy. Um, I'll give you a prime example. Yesterday, um, uh, like because I also trade over the weekend as well because I trade Bitcoin typically is my main sort of
Okay. Right, Bitcoin.
pairing that I trade with, and obviously that allows me to trade over the weekend. Um, and anyone that may have seen at the moment, Bitcoin's on a sort of real dip, and there was one point last night where luckily I didn't enter the trade, but there was a trade where literally it's dropped like over 1,000 pips, like in
No
again
way.
milliseconds. And again,
Oh,
that would have, if I'd gone in, it would have definitely hit my stop loss because of the margins that I would have been using. So,
right. Okay.
um, but yeah, it's just how you gotta again
Dis
assess the
little bit
market.
of discipline there, I see with like, just switching it off once you've made your target and just being like, 2, 3 days a week is enough for me. That's absolutely fine. Allowing yourself the time as well, being a little bit organized with that. That's brilliant. I love that.
Yep.
So let's go back to your first steps into trading, right? So do you remember the first time you actually placed a trade and what was going through your head?
Um, as in with Traderscale or just in
Just
general?
in general. Just in general.
So in general, as I said, didn't have a clue. Um,
Of
I was
course.
kind of seeing all of these different things online or hearing about people that I knew of through someone else, as an example, who have made like loads of money through trading and so on and so forth. Um, and they're like, oh yeah, just it's easy, just set up an account, put like 500 quid in it or 300 quid in it or whatever, and then like start just trying to make some money from that. And as you can imagine, going in, not having an understanding about leverages and lot sizes and stuff like that, that 200, 300, 400, £500 can disappear very, very quickly. And that is literally sort of what what I experienced.
Right.
And then off the back of that, I was like, but like there was just an element of understanding that people are making money from this,
Yes.
and I know that's possible. I just need to learn the process in order for me to be able to do the same thing.
Yes.
Um, and so after that point, it was again just focusing on like watching different traders and seeing what sort of strategies that they sort of started to embed, and then the whole sort of idea and concept of prop firms came about, and I was like, okay, this sounds a bit interesting.
Mhm.
I can, instead of me using my money to put it into just
A broker.
a broker, I can use that to invest it into a prop firm, and then it allows me to have more leverage because
Yeah.
I have access to greater funds. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
get the
okay,
get the
this
larger gains then as well. The actual gains
exactly.
will make a difference because if you put like, I go say this all the time. If you put, I did it myself. I put, I think, £750 into
Yep,
broker. I think it was like IC markets, like I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, and I doubled it. And then the next week I literally lost like 60 or 70% of it, and I just withdrew. I was like,
yep,
what the fuck? I need to
yep,
reset a little bit. Yeah, like what am I doing?
yep,
So
yep.
let's go for. Did you ever think about quitting? Was there any rock bottoms you're like, oh, you know what, it's not really working, or was you always like, I can figure this out?
Um, yeah, I've had moments, and even now, like as profitable and as consistent as I have been, I still have times when I'm like, do you know what? I need to take a break.
Okay.
Because I, so the thing that I would say has definitely changed from when I first started and to how would say I've become more profitable is because I just focus more so on taking the emotion out of the trading. which is the reason why I set certain rules and certain boundaries. Like, okay, if I know, for instance, I don't know, I want to be in a position where I can withdraw 10,000 USD this month or in my next payout, I will then say, okay, cool. If that's what I need to do, I've got 15 days that I need to get that money. That basically means I'm going to divide that 10K by the 15 days and I'm going to work on that premise that I'm going to be focusing on taking 750 USD a day in profit. And once I reach that point, that's it.
Brilliant. I love
Equally,
that.
on the flip side, I also set boundaries from a losses perspective. So if
Yes.
I'm saying I'm looking to earn 750 a day, I might say the most I want to lose is 1,500. So I might give myself a double in the
Yes.
buffer from a loss perspective, just because sometimes you know
Yeah.
how it goes. Sometimes you can assess the markets as much as you want, and sometimes it just goes
Yeah,
completely
so
against you.
sometimes what it'll do is it'll maybe it'll tap you and then it'll go. So so then you go, okay,
100%.
well I'm going to get in now. So yeah, I think that
Yeah.
that's quite a nice point there that Anton made, guys. Like, he has his set boundaries for the day. Now you don't want to get stuck in this, let's go back, let's go back, let's go back, because that could really hurt you, and that's when you can get really
Yep.
upset, right? And that's when you're on what they call in tilt, right? But
Yep.
now you've got like a set boundary for the day, right? I'm willing to lose this much, but if I make my 750, I'll have two goes at it. But if
Yep.
not, then or whatever, three goes at it. But when I make my 750, I'm out. It's job done.
Yep.
I think that's important. Close the laptop. And you know what? How many traders have said that when they come on here? Everyone that's made, over 3 grand, and they keep coming back, and they've made a lot of money, like lots of consistent
Yep.
wins and stuff like that. Lots of payouts. We've had some big traders on here, and they do the same thing. They have their set risk to reward. They have their set rule where they just close the laptop. If they don't see the market, if the market's ranging or whatever, they're like, you know what, whatever. And they have their set days and the set amount they lose, and then that's it. If they
Yep.
lose, they lose. They just like, oh, okay, they go for a walk or whatever, and then they just get back
Yep.
to what they're doing. So I can see that within you as well, and it's so mad because everyone says the same thing. The ones that have been successful, which is really, it's just really important as well. Like I
Yep.
think people brush over it because you see social media reels and like for example, it's the same people and the same trades. Like, yeah, it's discipline, it's patience, but it
Yep.
genuinely is. Like
It is for
it
sure.
is it genuinely is that. So out of the three or four things, what's the two most important things out there? Like mindset, discipline. If you put these in order, what do you think they're as what's most important? Strategy, discipline, mindset, and patience. Which one is first?
Um, that's tough. I'm gonna work backwards, and
Okay.
it's it probably sounds a bit mad, but I'm gonna say patience is last for me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um, because sometimes an opportunity arises and
You gotta
you
take it.
can't beat you got to take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, obviously that can go for and or against you,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
based on the four that you've given, I'll put patience last.
Yes.
I think the other three, I feel like they're kind of pretty much all
Yeah, that's a tough one, right?
on the same level. I think that's the reason why it's a bit of a struggle. But
Yeah,
I'd say, um, gosh, I would say mindset,
yeah.
and then I'll probably go with strategy and
Discipline at the top.
mm,
Which one?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah,
you have
yeah,
discipline there, strategy, patience, all very close. Obviously, patience down the bottom, and then mindset.
yeah, mindset, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I would probably put strategy at the top because if you've got a good strategy, the others are kind of that's just something that you can actually work on. You can't actually sometimes
yeah,
like, if you've got a dead strategy, you could be stuck on it for 2 years. So I would
yeah,
put
yeah,
that at the
yeah,
top.
exactly.
Then I would put discipline because I would say the same thing as you, where you're quite disciplined and you're like, a very discipline focused trader. If you can master those two, you're pretty almost there. Like
Yeah,
your
yeah,
mindset, if you got a good strategy, you don't necessarily have to have a strong mindset. Like my
yeah,
mindset's poor, man. I need a high win rate strategy. So with very
yeah,
low risk to reward. But then other people can be different. Everyone says something different. So I was just gonna ask you that just because it's quite a fun one to do.
yeah, yeah.
So when things get tough, what do you do? Do you have like a reset thing just for the people watching? Do you do something that helps you to go to the gym? I see you got Gym King on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
name, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so going to the gym, going for walks, playing football, like even just like something that can distract your mind because nine
Yes.
times out of ten, and even if you put something on the TV, a lot of the time your brain will still be ticking about, oh
Yeah.
gosh, like I'm in a drawdown and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. And it can sometimes have that negative impact on the rest of your day and
I
also the
think
rest
so.
of the surroundings.
I think
And
so.
so for when I mentioned earlier about the importance of trying to separate emotion from the trading,
Yeah.
that's the reason why. Because earlier on in my trading sort of career and journey, I was very much attached, and don't get me wrong, I still have moments
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, of course.
Like I can safely say, a couple of days ago, I was in a really bad drawdown. I was just
Yeah.
fully trying to get myself back, and I'm thinking to myself, no, do you know what? I need to take a day, and then I took a day,
Yeah.
and then like reversed half of that, like in the 24 hours after that. So
That's brilliant.
like now that I've been able to do that, I'm like, okay, cool. We know the strategy works, as you said, because it's
Back
the proof
tested.
is in it
Yeah.
is in the pudding in that sense. Yes, there's been certain situations that have now gone against me. Take a step back, still look at the charts, still look at the market, still see what's
Yeah.
happening. But maybe just don't trade that day.
Yeah.
Take a moment,
I
clear
like
your
that.
head.
I,
Um,
I think so. And I think like, going back to your point there where you said it sometimes can like, affect your day to day and stuff. I
yeah,
definitely felt that for a good year. It was I
yeah,
think I say this story all the time. I won like 17 trades in a row, and at one point I thought I can't lose. And then literally 2 weeks later I lost like 14 trades in a row. And I was like,
yeah,
wow. And I was so sad, dude. Like, and I remember
yeah,
thinking nothing can make me happy at the moment. And so I took a break,
yeah,
like a month break, and I was like, whoa, that was tough, dude. So I didn't want to go through
yeah,
that again. So I adjusted my strategy to have a higher win rate so that because I know that if I have like a high risk to reward ratio, my chances of going on a losing streak, I know that if I lose 3 trades in a row, I'm not going to be feeling good. So
yeah,
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 that's definitely something that I'm not very good at. But like I said, it's different for everyone. Some people just don't care. Some people are quite
yeah,
robotic with it. I'm just not. I wish I was better.
yeah,
But so like let's just go into some advice now for the people watching, the beginners watching. Sometimes we have like traders ask, on Instagram, how, hey, can you teach us trade? I'm like, we're a prop firm, we can't, we
yeah,
don't. But I was like,
yeah.
you can check out our YouTube channels, and there's some absolute G's on there who have kind of mastered the craft. You are one of our finest traders, Anton. So I'm sure our
Thank you.
viewers are dying to know what if you could sit down with your beginner self back on day one, what's one thing you'd say?
Um, I think I've already sort of mentioned it. I said the ability to detach emotion um, from the trading has massively impacted my success in
Really
regards to it.
brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. Because there would be times when I'd be in a drawdown and I would just be trying to chase that blue, and it's not coming, and all that's
Yeah.
happening is just loss after loss after loss after loss.
Yes.
Um, and so when that happens, again, as I said, take a step back, definitely take the time to really assess whether your strategy is working.
Hmm.
Um, if you're losing significantly, or you're noticing, I don't know, as you said, it touches your your stop loss before going up, that kind of shows you that your strategy wasn't necessarily off. It's just your
Yes.
the,
Yeah.
the timing of your input. And that's another thing as well. I'd always say, anyone that has ever spoken to me about trading, I would say like your entry point is so important.
Yes.
Um, and if you are looking for certain key elements within the charts, um, like a full-on engulfing candle, as an example, to know
Yeah.
when to sort of make sure you hit your points and you mark them off, and don't just say, "Oh, I'm just going to enter for the
Yeah.
sake of entering." Make sure that if you know that you're looking to hit certain criteria and you've hit it, then you enter. That's taken a lot of the risk out of the trade.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there are some traders that obviously they're gonna, maybe if they've got a 3 or 4 point criteria, if they hit 2 points, they might say, yeah, I'm gonna try and go for it anyway. Other traders, they will wait until they've got four, indicators
Yes.
before they say to themselves, "Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
to go in now."
Fair enough.
And so I guess that will change and sort of be determined based on each individual.
Yeah.
But my advice would be if you've got a criteria and a strategy that works, stick to it.
Mm.
And if it goes against you, take away the emotion from it, step
Yeah.
away, and then come back when you've done something that's made you feel good again. Do you get what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
So
love that.
yeah,
That's really, really great, guys. This is some top advice here from Anton. So if you're listening, like definitely listen to this guy. I can tell he knows what he's talking about here. And so we're going to do a little quick fire here now before we finish up. Some absolutely stellar advice there. And I can tell that you're gonna be continuing to make a lot of money with us, which is great. And it's mad to see like you're okay, you failed a couple and then you just went bam, 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 which is mad. But that's
yeah,
what shows it when you get it, you've got it. You know, you
yeah,
can't take it away really. Obviously, you might have a bad day, you're nil, maybe a bad
yeah.
month, but yeah. So let's go quick fire round now. Do you have any books or anything that push change your perspective? Any movies?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, haha, lovely. Okay, cool. Okay, what's one non-trading habit that's helped you in your trading?
um, Going to the gym, the discipline of going to the gym,
Yeah,
and
I
again,
do that as well.
the consistency to get you the results that you want. It's the same thing. It's just being
I think
applied in a
so.
different way.
Have you read Atomic Habits? But it's like you basically don't see the results. The chart is like this.
Yep,
It's not like that, you know, and people
yep,
are annoyed when you don't see results straight away. And gym is one of those.
yep,
Like if you don't see the
exactly.
results till 3 months, really, you know.
Yep,
You
yep,
got to go
yep.
consistently. So that's another great one there. Atomic Habits, guys. If you want to read that, I just read that the other week. Really great book. So, what's your worst trade ever?
Worst trade ever. Uh, I, ca- well, I blew my account for sure.
Okay.
This was when Bitcoin first went up to like about, I think it was like 110 or something like that. Um, and I was watching it going up, watching it going up, watching it go up, and I was like, should I enter? Should I not enter? Should I not enter? Should I enter? Should I not enter? And then because it was going up so consistent, I said, you know what? Let me enter, and I entered, and it just went. It's like it hit 110, and it just dropped all the way down, and just like
Yeah.
completely just wiped me out,
Oh no.
literally.
Oh, never
Um,
mind.
because like a lot of what I was seeing and what I was reading was like, oh yeah, it's scheduled to go up to 120. Like, so I was thinking, okay, cool. If I can jump in at 110 or just under 110, then if this goes to 120, then
Yeah,
yeah,
sweet. Yeah.
I'm sweet. I wouldn't even have held out to get to 120 anyway. I would have been adjusting my stop loss once in
Yeah, just
profit.
dragging it up.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, like, but yeah,
It
it
is what it
completely
is.
just reversed,
It's fine.
done a
It's
Uno
fine.
reverse on
It
me.
happens. It happens. What about your best trade then ever? Memorable one somewhere?
Um, so, so it's a difficult one because of my tactic, I restrict my best
Yeah, you
trades.
don't let it run. You're not like one of those guys who just
Yeah,
cut it off, cut it
I
off.
don't,
Okay.
yeah, I don't typically let it run. Now, and again, that's because of a few different factors. So from my perspective, I'm always thinking about, okay, well, when I get a payout and I'm withdrawing, obviously I'm thinking I've got to make that money back before I can get to myself back into profit for another withdrawal. So my perspective is like, well, I don't want to pull out too much money that it's going to not leave me with enough residual for once I've got my payout. So, for
Yeah.
instance, if you're trading on a 200,000 account and then you've got your 8K drawdown as an example for your daily loss limit, 16K for the month, I'm probably not going to withdraw. I'm probably not going to look to withdraw more than 10K because then that's only going to leave me with 6K to play with on the back end of the withdrawal. So again, I restrict it in that sense. And again, thinking about the consistency rule. So I could have a day where like I make 5 grand in a day, but then that means I'm gonna have to consistently make in and around that figure to get me to the consistency that I need to get to. So for that reason, I don't typically hold very long. But my best trade is like from one trade is like about 5,300, something like that.
Ah, lovely. Yeah. So you're well in line with the consistency rules. So I get what you mean. So your chart is probably perfect, and the consistency rules is probably helping you, right? So that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
So is there any last one now? Is there anyone who inspires you inside or out of trading?
Anyone who inspires me inside or
Doesn't have
outside
to
of
be a
trading.
trader. Doesn't have to be. Can be
I,
your mum. Can
I,
be your sister. Can
I'm
be, you know.
I'm gonna say my my fiance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's nice. Yeah.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
always looking at the best of you. Is she the best in you?
100%. But she's also always like smashing it in her career and her
Yeah.
achievements. So yeah,
That's sick when you got
it's
when you got someone to
exactly
bounce
got
off like that. It's brilliant.
precisely.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Anton, that was an absolutely sensational interview, and one of the best I've done, I think. So, thank you for coming on, and sharing your journey. And it just goes to show, like, you don't, no one just starts banging it straight away. Like, then
Yeah.
you're an absolute credit to that. Fail, 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 and then all of a sudden, 6, 7 months of just bang, bang, bang. Oh, so good, so good. Love. So I was like flicking through the thing. Then I was like, wow, this guy's absolutely murdered the charts here. So, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. If you found anything interesting or helpful or resonates with your journey, obviously. Don't forget to drop a comment if you have any questions. So, Traderscale out. Catch you next week. Cheers, Anton. Thanks for that. Can you just do one thing for
No
me?
problem.
Can you
Yep.
just say, because you didn't say how much, and we just say like we're gonna edit in like 55 over, just say over $55,000.
Okay.
Say it now.
Over $55,000.
Sick. That's all we needed. Just because if I go, whoa, you just, I could just make up any
Yeah,
number.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just looks
yeah, yeah.
stupid on social media. So I'll put that in at the beginning when I asked you the question. So it's actually more than that. I think it's like 58 or something, but that'll do. Okay. But thanks
Fine.
very
Yeah.
much, dude. And
No
yeah, you
problem.
look after yourself. Keep smashing it,
And
and
you.
chat to you soon. Okay.
All right. Cheers, mate. Take care.
Ta-ra, bud. Bye
See ya.
bye.